Welcome back. President Trump is pushing back hard against Iranian officials, claiming that they were not negotiating a new peace agreement with the U.S., as reports circulated of an email sent by CENTCOM Intelligence requesting new ideas to pressure Iran. We've got news coming in. A potential agreement between the U.S. and Iran again could be close. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan joins us live from Tel Aviv with more. Steve, it's great to see you. What more can you tell us?
Liz, some real optimism coming out of the U.S. administration, despite the fact that attacks against commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz continues. Administration officials say a deal for the free passage of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz could happen as early as Wednesday. Keep in mind, a U.S. military blockade of Iran continues, and CENTCOM a short time ago released some video footage of that blockade in full operation. Here's what that looks like.
Captain, you are requested to alter course to 190. If you do not comply, we will compel compliance with force. This is Warship 45. We will monitor your course for compliance at this time. Warship 45 standing by on 16 out.
CENTCOM says since the blockade began that they've diverted at least 45 vessels. They've debilitated 2 of those vessels, and Iranian officials continue to insist that they're not negotiating directly with the U.S. They do say, however, they are negotiating with Oman. Liz, back to you.
Thank you so much, Steve Harrigan. We appreciate you so much. Now, please watch this.
Our intelligence services by all the players that the Pakistanis and the Qataris are compromised because they favor Iran at the expense of the United States. Their influence here, I think, has played a part in misleading the United States in terms of Iran's real intentions. We were going to open the Strait of Hormuz forcibly. Saudi denied us the use of our air base and denied us the use of their airspace. The fact of the matter is, the Saudis are not willing to sacrifice to rid the Middle East region of Iran's aggression. That is the absolute fact that we're seeing playing out here. What do I mean by sacrifice? Casualties and the damage to some of their oil reserves. That's the reality that's taking place here. They're willing for us to make that sacrifice, for sure. They're willing for Israel to make that sacrifice, for sure. I think this is shameful that they lack the spine to stand up for their people and for the region here and support the president on what is taking place.
Denuclearization of Iran is the ultimate deal. I think the immediate deal, and the one that you're seeing a lot of focus on, is the Straits. The Straits have been progress made in those talks, but not finality yet. We're hoping that will happen very shortly.
That was General Jack Keane telling Fox News that Pakistan and the mediators and U.S. allies in the Middle East are operating at the expense of the United States, that they have misled the U.S. about Iran's real intentions, and that Gulf nations like Saudi Arabia are pulling the president back from wider military action because they're not willing to sacrifice to get rid of Iran's terror regime. And that was Secretary of State Rubio saying the denuclearization of Iran is the ultimate goal. Joining us now, former Trump State Department official, former Ambassador Nathan Sales. It's great to see you, sir. What's your take on what General Jack Keane said? Because Brit Hume tweeted, quote, "I think General Keane is absolutely right here. Our Gulf allies are fine with the U.S. taking on Iran as long as it costs them little or nothing." What do you think?
Well, our friends in the Gulf have a lot on the line here. And let's be clear, they have at least as much on the line as we do in making sure that Iran does not become a regional hegemon. Iran is a threat to Saudi Arabia and Qatar and the UAE and Oman, and the list goes on, before they're a threat to us, because Iran's ambition is to dominate the Middle East. What's stopping them? The United States. So we're all in this together, and it is not too much to ask that the United States would have allies in the region who are prepared to share some of the burden and share some of the sacrifice of denying Iran the regional hegemony that it seeks.
So now we've got this report. It's come down to a deal between Iran and Oman they may be close to a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but there's going to be a, quote, service fee. President Trump said no to that. How do you stop that?
Yeah, the devil is in the details. It's encouraging to know that the talks are going on, but the details really matter here. And we cannot accept a world in which Iran has control over the strait. You heard from the Treasury Secretary today, Scott Bessent, the deal has to include freedom of navigation. And that means ships go where ships go without paying a toll, without coordinating with the IRGC. So hopefully our negotiators will hold a firm line on that, because that was why President Trump started hostilities again a month ago, because the Iranians were digging in their heels on trying to control the strait. It wasn't a good answer then. It's not a good answer now.
Former Ambassador Nathan Sales, thank you so much. Now we're moving on to this. Watch this.